Good morning, everybody. This is Mukherjee, working as Associate Professor in St. Peter's Indian College, Hyderabad. Today, our topic of discussion is drift, diffusion, and Hall effect. We're going to study these topics. So, what is diffusion? Diffusion, in the sense, for example, let us take a glass of water. Put sugar in the water. When we put sugar in the water, what happens? The sugar settles down and then it immediately gets dissolved in the water. And we are not applying any force in fact. We are not at all applying any force. So what happens? The sugar is going to get dissolved in the water, taking energy from the external temperature or external surroundings. And this type we call it as diffusion. So the diffusion is a movement of charge carriers from higher concentrated area to the lower concentrated area to make the equilibrium, to produce the equilibrium, to produce the constant concentration of charge carriers all along the available area. And that is what we call it as diffusion. And what is drift? Drifting in the sense, the same glass of water, we are putting sugar, but we are stirring it up. We are going to take a spatula or a spoon and we are going to stir it up or we are going to heat it. When we are going to heat it or when we are going to stir it up, what is that we are doing? We are making the charge carriers to move according to our choice. We are going to make the we are going to make the things to move according to our choice, yani applied external field. When we apply some external field, what is happening? The charge carriers or mobility will move. And this is what we call it as a drift current. So diffusion current or diffusion current density and drift current density. Both are the two fantastic phenomena of the total charge carriers and intrinsic semiconductors. So the total diffusion is given by Jn equals to minus n dn into dou n by dou x, where n is the number of charge carriers, dn is the diffusion constant, and dou n by dou x is the variable, the variation of the charge carriers along the displacement along x-axis. Similarly for the holes, how do you write the same equation for the holes? Jp is given by n dp into dou p by dou x. So the diffusion current density Jn is given by minus nd and dou n by dou x, and the diffusion current density for holes is given by P. It is not n, it is P. Where P represents the number of holes. P dp into dou p by dou x. And why negative charge? Because the electrons are always represented by the negative charge. So we are represented by the negative charge in this way. Similarly, what is drift? The drift current is given by, let us call it as J drift N. The J drift N is given by U into E, where mu is the mobility of the charge carriers applied upon applying the electric field intensity. So this can be written, how are we representing it as? We are doing N mu N into E into E. Similarly, JdP for the whole is given by mu P into E into E, where N is the number of charge carriers, mu E is the mobility of the electrons, and E is the number of the electrons here we are going to move, and E is the applied electric field intensity. Similarly, P represents the number of holes whose mobility is given by mu P, of charge carriers E, applied electric field intensity E. So what is the total current density? The total current density J is always given by J diffusion plus J drift. So total current density because of electrons is given by minus n dn dou n by dou x plus, how is that we are going to represent this? N mu n into E into E. Or this can be as n going to take out common. This is represented as mu n into E into E minus dn into dou n by dou x. This is exactly the total current density of an electrons is given by. So the holes is given by J equals to P into mu P E into E plus dP into dou P by dou x. So this is how the total current density is measured. And taking this total current density, we want to evaluate the whole properties of semiconductor. So this is what the diffusion current density and the drift current density is. Now we are going to study the Hall effect. Let us see what is the Hall effect is. Now, Everybody knows what is this. Everybody knows this. What is this? FBI. What does this FBI stands for? Federal Bureau of Investigation, right? So Federal Bureau of Investigation, where it is? Actually, it is an investigation agency in America. So we call it as Federal Bureau of Investigation. We just call it as FB and I, right? But actually, FBI is Federal Bureau of Investigation is wrong. FBI doesn't stand for Federal Bureau of Investigation. FBI stands for the electric force, the force on the charge carriers, or when the electrons are moving with some force, its electric component and magnetic component are found here. FBI. So when a current I is flowing, this is exactly the diagram. When a current I is flowing, so what is that we are going to get? We are going to get a magnetic force, we are going to get electric force. Magnetic force by F and, magnetic force by B and electric force by F. So F, B and I. Current I, electric force F, magnetic force I, FBI. So FBI is nothing but the electric and magnetic field produced when a current E is flowing. By the way, what is current? Current is nothing but the rate of flow of charge carriers. So now the current density. How to write a current density? The current density is given by J equals to NEV. This is the current density. First of all, what is current density? Current density is defined as the number of charge carriers per unit area or volume. Let us check mass density. What is mass density? Mass density is nothing but total mass per unit area. What is charge density? Charge per unit area. Then what is current density? What is mass density? Mass per unit volume. Mass density is mass per unit volume. Charge density is charge per unit volume. So current density is current per unit volume. Is wrong. It is not current per unit volume. It is current per unit area. Why it is current per unit area? Why it is current per unit area? Because already the electrons are flowing along one axis. Its impact is felt along the remaining two axes. And remaining two axes we can only get an area. So that is the reason why the current density is always defined as the current per unit area. And that is represented by J equals to NEV. Similarly, how do we write the magnetic field intensity? We also have the magnetic field intensity. The magnetic field intensity is how we write the magnetic field intensity. NEV is the electric field intensity. How do we write the magnetic field intensity? Because we also have a magnetic field current density. Let us say the total force. The total force is given by, how do we write the total force? The total force is given by small into capital V plus Q, V and V. This is the total force available here. This is the electric field and the other one is the magnetic field. Or this can also be written as F equals to small into capital E plus E into V into V. This is the magnetic and this is the electric. Right? So here, what is that we are going to have? The total electric force. So magnetic force is given by, let us assume the magnetic force. The magnetic force is given by E, V and B. And how is the electric force given by? Electric force is given by small e into capital E. Or this can also be written as M into E into capital E. Now what is V? From this equation, what is V? What is V? The V is given by J by NE. J is current density, N is the number of electrons. So let us substitute that value in that equation. When you want to substitute the magnetic equation, so let us assume this is the magnetic force. The magnetic force, what we are going to have? Magnetic force is given by, what we are going to have? V. E cross VD. So this can also be written as V equals to E, V and V. This can also be written as, we are going to write V as E into V into J by NE. This is one kind of representation of the Hall effect. But we also have another representation of Hall effect. And what is the representation? Let us first suppose, let us assume that now finally what happens? The small n gets cancelled. We are left out with Vj by n. This is the magnetic force. Let us equate to the electric force. And what is the electric force we have? Small into capital E. So we are going to have small e into capital E. So this becomes small e into capital E equals to V into J by n, or E equals to V into J by n E, or E equals to V J 1 into RH, or RH equals to E by B into J, where RH equals to 1 by NE. We call this as Hall coefficient. So this is the Hall effect. So what does this exactly say? What is the use of a Hall effect? The Hall effect is basically used to determine whether the semiconductor that we are carrying is it a p-type or an n-type. Because seeing a material, we can't identify whether it's a p-type or an n-type. For that, this Hall effect comes into handy. And what is that we are going to take? We are going to take a specimen. And when we take a specimen of a semiconductor, we are going to take the specimen and we are going to place it in a magnetic field, on a constant magnetic field, and we start applying the electric field. And we take the ratio of applied electric field to the magnetic field, and in response to the resultant current density that is produced. This is what it is. We are applying the magnetic field, we are also applying the electric field, and the response produced in the form of current density is measured. And we are going to take a ratio. If this ratio, depending upon the direction of the ratio, depending upon the value of this ratio, we can identify whether it's a p-type or an n-type. If it is a negative term, we call it as an n-type semiconductor. If it is a positive term, we call it as a p-type semiconductor. So this is the best and a beautiful demonstration of how do exactly we can calculate a semiconductor, whether it is a p-type extrinsic semiconductor or an n-type extrinsic semiconductor. Simple equation. What is that? FBI. We are going to take the fundamental principle of FBI. What is that we are taking? We are taking the specimen and we are placing it in a magnetic field. So constant magnetic field is applied. And we are applying electric field. So what is happening? A current is produced. So we are measuring the current density. So this is the specimen. This specimen is exposed to electric field and magnetic field. When these two are applied perpendicular to each other, what is happening? A current density is produced. So noting down the current density, we substitute in this value and we get the value of what? Hall coefficient. So this is a beautiful demonstration for finding out what kind of a semiconductor is. Why? Because it's very simple. Why it is happening? Because when you are applying the electric and magnetic field, what is happening? The drift current is getting generated. Why the drift current is generated? Because now we are applying some field, and this field is making the charge carriers to move according to the field that is applied. What is diffusion, which is happening normally to make sure that the concentrations are equal? So when the charge carriers are moving from a higher concentration to the lower concentration, so that the charge carriers are maintained at equilibrium condition, we call that as actually diffusion current. And drift current, we apply some external force, and this external force is driving the charge carriers according to our choice, or according to our requirement, or according to the structure available there. We call it as a drift current. So now what is that we are doing? We are applying electric field, we are also applying magnetic field, and producing a beautiful current density, which is nothing but drifting. And measuring the direction of this drift current density J, we can beautifully identify whether it is a p-type Hall effect or a p-type or an n-type by calculating the Hall coefficient. Thank you very much.